This is I'm here with reviewing series of Cinefex magazine, which some of you may know of. Yeah, I tell you from the first glance, you'll see this is a special format. You can see this is a 23 by 20 centimeter format, which is a aspect ratio of the first film, negative film in the history. Don Scheik created and published this in 1980. From 1980 to 2016, this is published quarterly. But after that, from 2016 to 2021, it was bi-monthly, which shows how industry was blooming and booming in that period in terms of the amount of movies and health of industry, which all of my colleagues and us, when we work in that period, we all witnessed how much busy we were and how much good was this industry. And unfortunately, it was collapsed somehow. That's quality of visual effect in the industry. This is very extraordinary magazine also in terms of the quality of content and amount of information in technicals, artistic people and teamwork that created this amazing movies that are, most of them are masterpiece. I hope you like it. We're going to start from 2015 to 2021. Hopefully regularly review this magazine. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, reviewing Avengers Age of Ultron. This big movie in terms of amount of visual effect shots, which is 3000 visual effects itself, in terms of design, assets, and number of research and companies worked on this movie is insane. It was 20 company worked in this movie in 4 countries. The visual effects supervisor Chris Townsend and Jeffrey Bowman, and VFX producer was Ron Amis and Ryan Stafford. So basically, Townsend was said to Cinefex that one of the reasons he accepted this movie was basically challenge of Hulk. You know, he wanted basically the technicality and look challenge of this monster, which in that time, even now, I would say it was something unique. Basically, the technicals on this movie, I'm going to very fast because we don't have much time. Like examples, the Imaginarium Studio, which was responsible to give the performance captures to ILM. In one of their setup, they used 50 Vicon T160 cameras, and to serve a performance, just a foundation to give it to ILM. So basically, this was a huge movie in terms of everything. If you haven't watched, I really recommend to watch it. And for those who are professional in VFX, definitely they know. So about the rigging and the scanning of Hulk, creature supervisor Eric Wong and Lana Lan, basically they went and talked to the physiology professor about the science behind and approaches they can work on it on R&D. So basically it was like a mix of scientific and technical and artistic movie, which sometimes we ignore, and we don't even think that visual effect crew doing this like much effort and love to bring a life to characters and the technicality. So basically the good thing about ILM, I really like, for example, they had a outside in approach for the scanning. So basically they use best type and approach to solve the technical problems in these kind of projects. And this is a double negative teams worked on. So basically we have these names always appearing as an appreciation of the visual effect crew, which thousands of people. And it was in this series of visual effect Cinefex, you come across a lot of these names, which are really was a great action in terms of appreciation. One of the things they could do, they used to do it well until this magazine discontinued, unfortunately. Good to know that in this show there was 178 Hulk shot, which is 50 more compared to the previous Avengers. Considering all this more technicality, superior, you know, work and challenges on this one is significant. And also there's a description of how they use the digi double of the bike, Captain America bike, motorbike. Here they had to paint it, and then they used that CGI also for the scene. So they want to have like a real photography, you know, footage of the forest. They like to keep it. Many good companies like Trickster, Loma Pictures, and Method Studio worked on Thor and Captain America, basically. So in this page we are going to see and read about some of these interesting digital numerical holographic effects. Basically Zwick company, Zwick Trickster worked on, and Luma, also Luma Picture worked, contribute to building them. Actually these ones remind me of a Buff company works, which was my first industry you know, experience. I was as a generalist back in 2013. They're very good at these effects because they actually they were using, I don't know now, but they're using like codings and decoding system to achieve these effects. Actually this Buff company was the first company that the company was worked with on the first Matrix. They're very good. You can check them out if you have a time. Actually, yeah, the VFX supervisor Vincent Cirelli, if I'm not wrong, they worked on the lightening of the ring. And Zwick Studio VFX supervisor Rocco Passionini was a supervisor, worked on Illuminated Stone. Don't think it's here, but yeah. And we're gonna read here about like Luma Pictures, you know, other VFX supervisor, how they work. So I cannot like describe and show everything, unfortunately, but yeah, that's what it is here. Another interesting page here is about design and mechanic of characters and facilities, and they describe how they think military, avionic, and robotics in art design, and they wanna create something above the mood, really, like something is beyond all of these, which you see like these characters remind us of Terminator, but in terms of design and complication, sophistication, and accuracy is something very unique. Yeah, it's all about all of these describing it. Fortunately, I cannot show everything due because of copyright, maybe. So also here we are reading about how Animal Logic, Australian company, which relatively big company, spent 1 year only on developing the look of the cyberspace. So, and some other details, how they worked on the fractal effect on one of these shots. And also some information about ILM, most complex, highly advanced rig for Ultron Prime, which was looked like it was very advanced for that time. You're going to read in these pages. Okay, this page, I believe it's a Johannesburg City shot. ILM General's team, they were in charge of set extension and digital environments. And Charlie Wood was a production designer. And there's explanation here how they use lots of photography based on the postways, but they didn't limit themselves there, and they went beyond that, what might be added in post more. So there's this Soho VFX ad about one of these shots of the movie here. So one of the iconic character and rigs in this age of Ultron is complexity of the Hulkbuster suit, which Third Floor worked on them. It was most challenges, and then ILM animation team worked on the rigs, but also Third Floor worked on the previs. And the real challenge was suit within the suit nature of the Hulkbuster suit was basically all these years I was in industry, I didn't see this kind of suit, which is very complicated in terms of technical aspect of it in the VFX, which of course ILM can do that, and we're witnessing how they could achieve the best result of this high-end movie, and very elevated standards. So on this page, it's a battle scene action happening in Johannesburg. A complex sequence featuring two sophisticated CG characters, interaction with each other and the object around, and prior the start of the principal photography, which allowed filmmakers to deliver the plates to ILM. Paul Carbold, if I'm not wrong, special effect team provided in-camera destruction during Johannesburg shooting, which ILM augmented with dust and other effects after that. So, and this one is the Seoul, South Korea effect scene, which is a practical as you can observe here. Basically, as you see, like back before, used to create these like special effects and, you know, set design, you know, practical sets to this kind of, you know, movies, other than using AI. Here in this page, we see and we read about how ILM developed the look of the vibranium-clad robot, researching the real-world minerals to arrive to the texture that would suggest indestructible, you know, nature of the, you know, rare metal, a very strong metal. It exists in the nature. So it was a scientific process again, like the other part. And here there's a sub-Ultron joining the fight in the street of Sokovia. ILM delivered the majority of shots, as always. But also Soho VFX and Method Studio worked on the joint work the shots to create the scene battle. Here the story continues, and vibranium powered underground drilling operation. You can see here, and the rest of the story about how Method Studio, in line with ILM, they created that. I'm going to fast forward because this movie is very like intense and a lot of pages show. So in this page you see SIGGRAPH 2015. Those who are interested in the visual series and visual effect, and you know that this is very informative and very important conference exhibition in the universe of visual effect and motion pictures. Okay, in this page, the story continued about the Wanda effect that Trickster created along with Method Studio, some part of it. In this page, we read about Mark 45 Iron Man suit used for fighting. Basically, Marvel in-house visual development team designed this one, and then they handed it to ILM for implementation. And the rest of the story, this heli carrier, it's from Avengers 1. They still use it here, and there was a played footage, and they used the Sokovia, you know, digital assets to integrate that footage they had from aerial photography over the Hendon area near London. And finally, here's a famous end shot of the New York training facility of new Avengers team, which now include Maximoff twins. Yeah, this is the end of this review for this movie. Yeah, hopefully soon I'm going to maybe Jurassic Park review, Jurassic Park, a very fast review for that one probably. Okay, thank you for your attention. See you guys.